Hello, everyone. We are back for another week of a live stream.
We are indeed. I hope everyone has had a fantastic week.
Yes.
Let's just say hello to some people.
Let me just change a quick setting here.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Get into it, Deb. Where
All
are we
right,
going?
here
Let's
we go.
start. We've got Joe.
Hey, Joe. About time you joined us.
Yeah.
Feeling the love.
See where the loyalty's been. Joining the Ducks crew and
Hey,
Sean and said, so Down Under Cruisers are here. Good to finally have the daylight savings sorted out so that we're not conflicting again. So glad to have you on board, Sean. And Sean, we will share a link in the chat at the end of this to your live stream, which starts pretty much at the time that we're due to finish tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Just in case anyone hasn't joined one of theirs before.
Yeah.
So jump on over and have a look at theirs as well.
Who else have we got tonight?
Hey,
We've
Ron.
got Ron. G'day, Ron.
Nice to see you again.
And
Wendy,
Wendy's here.
We're good. We're good. Thank you, Wendy.
Yeah, we are. We've had a good weekend away for the most part. A little hiccup, but yeah, good. Who else have we got? Rowan and Noni are here. Hey guys, good to see you.
Funnily enough, we actually spoke to some people on the weekend that were on the same cruise as you and knew your whole story.
Yes, we did. We did. They were on the Quantum cruise that you were on, that
the extended one
was extended due to
Alfie.
Alfie, Cyclone Alfie last month. So yeah, who else have we got tonight?
Hey, Tina.
Tina's here.
Nice to see you again. Thank you for the beautiful comments also about our live, not our live, our video that we did about Quantum.
Yeah.
That was lovely. Comment.
Yeah, it was. It was very, very nice. So thank you very much. Who else have we got? Alistair Chalmers, are you on board? No, we're not. We're home tonight. We were away on the weekend on board a cruise.
Got back yesterday.
And we'll talk a little bit more about that shortly. So yeah, but no, we are here at the moment. And we've got Desley watching from the sunny coast. G'day, Desley.
The good old sunny coast.
Yes. And
Patrick.
Oh,
you're Patrick. Switching.
I missed Patrick. Sorry, Patrick.
Hey,
I missed
Patrick.
Patrick.
Nice to
G'day,
see you
mate.
again,
Good to see you on board with us tonight. And Wendy.
Woohoo!
G'day, Wendy. That's
second
awesome.
time you managed to catch us.
Katie Kate's here as well.
Hello.
And we've got Michael.
Hey, Mike and Darlene.
Mike and Darlene.
Oh, yes. Do you know what, Mike and Darlene? I actually tried to find you guys because I had one of the checklist magnets to give you guys, but I could not find you for the rest of the cruise.
Flick us a DM and we will we'll get in touch and see if we can organise to get one to you guys.
100%.
And Noni mentioned small world. Yes, it is. The cruise world certainly is a small world. Linda and Dylan are on board with us tonight as well. Hello. And look at this. This is loyalty.
Ooh.
Missing home and away to watch our live.
Wow. The good thing about playback these days, though, hey?
Yeah, that's exactly
so you get to watch it again, but that's loyalty. Thank you.
Thank you. All righty. So jumping. Oh, Katie Kate says she's jumping on adventure for the first time on Friday. Oh, well, we would be keen to hear your thoughts.
100%.
Katie, let us know in the comments as well. Is this your first time on adventure at all, or first time on adventure post the P&O Carnival changeover? Really curious to know that. And then as somebody being a first-time cruiser on adventure potentially, what your expectations are, and then post that cruise, what you thought of it.
100%.
Joe says he's missing nothing for this live stream. He's always on his computer. Well, that means you must be missing doing some work or something else to
or
be
just
here,
watching a YouTube
or
video.
just watching a YouTube video. So you're here with us, and we appreciate it, Joe. Go for it. Sean you can't wait for Sean's group cruise at the end of 2026. First time cruiser on the Carnival Luminosa. Yeah, Joe, that's a really good point. And Sean, for everyone that is watching and hasn't watched one of the live streams from the Down Under Cruises and Sean before, do jump on board, have a watch of his live stream tonight. They do some work with a charity helping hands for cruising, helping people with disabilities get onto cruises, and they organize group cruises and things like that as part of that process. And I'm sure he will be talking about that tonight. So after this live stream, jump over there. And as I said, towards the end, we will share a link to that live stream in the comments. So, Deb.
All right. What have we been doing?
What have we been doing since the last live stream?
Okay. So we have boarded I want to say it's our Love, because it was our first royal ship.
It was our first royal ship. And it was the ship that kind of started this channel, restarted this channel for it. We started the channel, had to pull away for health reasons and things a few years back, very early in that piece. And we boarded the ship this weekend that really took this channel in its new direction and started focusing on the cruise and travel content.
Yeah, so it's a bit of... feels like home whenever we get on board Quantum.
Yes. So we're on Quantum of the Seas.
And we did a back-to-back. So we did there was a 2-nighter Brisbane to Brisbane. So they call them the sampler cruises. But then there was another one straight after it, which was Brisbane to Sydney. So we did the back-to-back. Can I say, along with 320 other people.
Yes.
Did the back-to-back.
Yeah. And
so that was a little bit nuts. On the embarkation day, I don't know if they necessarily have had that many people. So they pulled us all into the Royal Theatre. But unfortunately, they put the check-in. So you actually had to check in and check out your cruise card as like you were exiting the ship. But because they were keeping us for what was 2.5 hours.
2 hours, yeah.
People had to go to the toilet. So every time somebody had to go to the toilet, they had to tap back on as they were getting back on the ship, and then they'd tap back on that they were getting off the ship. So it meant that the ship couldn't get to a 0 count. So at one point they finally said, all right, nobody is going to the toilet for the next 20 minutes. Let's just get this to a 0 count so then we all could get it back on board.
Yeah, because they kept getting really low, and then somebody would need to leave to go to the toilet. Ship went back to 0 to a plus count. And it just
it was nuts.
It was nuts. And yeah, as Deb mentioned, they had quite a lot of people, a lot more than they normally would. But it was a bit of a failing. I think they really didn't plan that and execute that very well. They knew how many people they had.
But we've been told before that they sometimes put that tap on, tap off, kiosk on the other side of the toilets.
Yeah.
That would have been smart.
Yeah, and they didn't.
No,
so
they didn't.
Anyway, so yeah, it was our last cruise on Quantum, or we were going on it expecting it to be, shouldn't say expecting, but resigned to the fact that it was highly likely to be our last cruise on Quantum, at least out of Australia. There had been some rumors for a little while that that was possibly not going to be the case. There's the big question, as we've discussed in a couple of the previous live streams in the last few weeks, that Quantum and Anthem and Navigator of the Seas were all unallocated. So the 26-27 cruise season was a bit of a toss-up as to whether it was going to be what the mix was going to be, and what whether Sydney, Brisbane, or Singapore was going to get what ship. Yeah, and then I'm hoping that many of you saw our video that we released while we were on board last week. But we got to speak to some people, not just the staff on the next cruise desk or anything like that, but people in positions that know and are involved in the planning, and we were very happy to we're happy to hang our head on the fact that Quantum will be returning to Brisbane in the 26-27 cruise season.
So excited about that. And from what we were told, the major approvals have already been done. It's literally just down to the final port ticks and stuff like that. But I cannot be more excited about this, to be honest. To know that she's coming back.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, we're pretty excited about that. So when we get the schedule.
Yeah, so
actually that might just tie you into knowing when the schedule is actually going to come out.
So let's bring something up here. Let me just click over. So you'll remember as well a few months ago, let me add a screen, share a screen. How am I doing this, Deb? Tell me what I got to do, Deb.
Yeah, speaking to the wrong person.
So if we have a look at this this screen here, a couple of months ago, this is the deployment schedule, and this has been updated from when it was first released. When the schedule for the 26-27 deployments was released by Royal Caribbean, there was to be determined in this column here. So week where it now says week of 28th of April and week of 5th of May. So they've actually, it said to be determined, then it got pushed to June, and now we know that at the end of April, we are going to have the release of the 26-27 cruise schedule, which is very, very exciting indeed.
Yes, because we haven't planned 26 yet.
No, we haven't.
So we've been sort of holding off knowing what is going to happen. We're looking at 26 and 27 at the moment. Apart from New Year's, we haven't planned anything past that one.
And so what I just want to point out here, though, is if you have a look at the schedule, it's actually saying that it is going to commence in October 2026 as well. So this little bit here. So that's very exciting because we've seen a couple of shortened seasons recently. So yeah, just very, very excited to see that we're going to go back to at least out of Sydney or Brisbane, one or the other. We're going to have a full cruise season from Royal Caribbean.
No doubt, Brisbane, Quantum. I'm not don't take that away from me.
Well,
my hope is going to be there.
Completely. Let me have a look.
All right, I want to get back onto some of the comments.
You drive that for a moment.
Jeez. All right, apologies everyone, because I am not the tech person whatsoever. All right, let me. Here we go. Oh, look at me! I clicked a button. All right. 29/12/26. All right.
So that's the group cruise that Sean's doing.
That's the group one. So that's the New Year's. So we haven't even looked at 26 yet for that one. All right. So we'll keep an eye on that.
On that, and we'll show it up. Yep.
Yeah, look at me go.
Look at you.
All right, Noni. So yeah, Quantum was your first cruise for your honeymoon. Yep. 100%. Like it does feel like home completely and utterly. Oh, Pacific Sun. Okay, so this is your first cruise in 15 years. Good for you. I actually went on the Pacific Sun back in the day.
Before me.
Yeah, before you. Before you.
It was BM.
Yeah.
Before Matt.
Yeah, it was indeed. But I had a blast. Not that I'm saying I don't have a blast with you.
Yeah, sure?
Anyway, whatever. Move on. Next video. Next one.
Hang on. Do we need to dive into this?
All right. Great, Tina, that you watched our last video. That's awesome. And yeah, glad that you're happy about Quantum also.
Yeah. Patrick,
Oh, there we go.
Patrick says he's been on the sister ship Ovation.
Close. To be honest, they are so similar.
They are. I mean, obviously same class of ship, but you know, there was also, we commented on this after getting on Ovation a couple of weeks ago, having done the Trans-Pacific on Ovation. It was very similar sort of thing, and I think part of it's to do with the ship class being a quantum class ship. So it feels very familiar, but also having spent 18 nights on that ship doing the Trans-Pacific, it also felt very comfortable and very familiar.
But then when we got on Anthem as well, it's so similar as well. They're all so similar, those three ships. Hang on.
Joe says he hasn't cruised yet. So
really, Joe?
Wow.
Are you having a go? Are you having a laugh at us? Because that surprises me.
Well, but you know, if not, like, what a great cruise to be going on the group cruise as a first.
Wow, that's incredible. Awesome. All right, Desley. Last Friday was our first time on Quantum. Okay, so we also were booked on that cruise that was cancelled. But
we were booked on this one as well.
We were also on this one that you were on. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it like we did.
Oh, well, they say it as it says amazing.
Oh, yeah,
so yeah, like,
read, Deb. Read.
Come on, pay attention. No, it is an amazing ship, and I'm sure Desley, and let us know your thoughts in the comments about this, but there is so many activities on that ship and so many things to do that 2 days really is just a sample. Like, you can't get around to everything.
I don't know how anyone can do it in that time frame. So yes, as we just said, Rowan, it certainly is just as great a ship.
It is. And really good point there about Ovation and the location. Being in Sydney, coming out of the overseas passenger terminal in Sydney, that cruise port, purely from a location, nothing compares.
No.
Nothing compares.
Yes, Brisbane, unfortunately, and we have this conversation all the time with people, and we don't disagree. All I say is I cannot wait for them to actually put a ferry terminal in at the port, so then people can just jump on the ferry and go into the city, go to South Bank, go to all the different locations.
Stay in those locations and travel up the river.
Yeah, rather than having to take that long journey out on the roads. So we agree with you completely and utterly in that one.
But, you know, it is, I guess that's the difference between a river port and a deep water port and a deep water harbour that Sydney is versus Brisbane too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Challenger bridges and things. I hope to meet you guys want to come up to Brisbane for Sean's cruise. Well, we're doing our 26 planning at the moment, and hopefully in the near future we'll have start to get some ideas on what we're doing with 26 and 27 in the near future.
Yeah, this is very true. All right, Wendy, great. You're excited about Quantum as I'm excited about Anthem.
Yes.
1 on Brilliance and 2 on Ovation.
Well, yeah, we haven't done Brilliance, but we have done Ovation.
And we've done Anthem.
And we've done Anthem. And we have done Quantum. We loved Anthem. Anthem was a great ship. We did the Singapore one, as you know, back in January. So, and just, you know, really, again, very similar ship. But these Quantum class ships, the Royal Theatre, and the fact that they do all the different shows and entertainment. But what I really liked about Anthem was the show, the feature show that they have in their not School of Rock. What was it?
Completely wrong.
Rock of Ages.
Sure.
Mental blank.
Yeah, I no help.
The show that Ben Elton wrote. The musical. We're having a mental blank. It was amazing. We raved about it. Now I can't remember the name.
Oh,
Rock of Ages. It was Rock of Ages.
No, it's not. Anyway, we'll come back to that.
Give me my phone because I'm going to Google
work
this
that one
quickly.
out. All right. So Yeah, Tina, we are with you. Quantum all year round would be amazing. So as we said, I think a lot of it does depend on them getting their South Pacific Island. And if they can get that and built, then that gives a reason why they would stay all year round. So we're crossing everything that is going to be something that happens.
My gut feel on this,
Mm.
I have a gut feel on this, and that's that we may see Royal do something similar to Carnival, and what Carnival does with Splendor. And Splendor does quite a few extended cruises during the winter months, and does do some runs sometimes up into Singapore. I think Navigator of the Seas, if that's the ship that's going to be based in Singapore, might do its main season up there and then potentially come down as the year-round fill-in. I think that could work. And but the size of the ship being a bit smaller would also be more compatible with an island destination. I just want to, if you give me 2 secs, I need the mouse. Sorry.
He gave me control and he's taking it away.
Taking it away. So I just want to, because what I want to do is just jump over here to October 26th. We'll bring this screen back up. Oops, wrong one. Let's bring this screen over. So this is the cruise port schedule for October 2026 and in Brisbane. And you'll see that at the moment, Voyager of the Seas is booked in. So Royal Caribbean have a slot at the Brisbane International Cruise Terminal on the 22nd of October. And then the 30th. So my guess is that, that will probably be reserved still, and you'll probably see that'll be one of the first cruises, is probably going to be the 22nd of October out of Brisbane, and it looks like a 7 or 8 nighter out to the islands, because they've already got that slot. So we will know more about that in the near future. And then you can see there's November, so Voyager's got a couple of slots there. There's a Friday slot.
Goes right through.
It goes right through that period of time, which is exciting. Celebrity Edge makes a stop here at 1.2, so, but I'm guessing that's just going to be a day in Brisbane. Anyway, go back over here, get to a few more comments, and it was Rock of Ages on Anthem of the Seas.
Wasn't.
So that it is. I've got it up. I've Googled it. Google works, right?
No.
So Rock of Ages is, We Will Rock You.
Thank you. I knew it wasn't Rock of Ages. We Will Rock You.
I was wrong. Deb was right. We Will Rock You is the musical, and it was freaking awesome on Anthem of the Seas. So
gosh,
if you're going to be going on Anthem of the Seas this coming year, make sure you do get to see that when it comes.
All right.
Sean says, at least you have cruising on your doorstep, so to speak. Melbourne is a graveyard for cruising. Yes, unfortunately it is.
100%.
I did have a look. I was actually looking at some schedules the other day. There are a couple of Princess cruises, cruise dates, but you're so limited over the next 18 months to 2 years. It's just
you need
very,
to move
very
to
sad.
Queensland.
And obviously Adventure's doing, I think, 3 weeks in March 27 or March, April 27, 3 or 4 weeks down there, which isn't very long either. But hopefully with time that will begin to correct itself.
This is true. All right, Michael.
Michael, plenty of time in Solarium.
You're listening to this one. Well, there you go.
I enjoy spending plenty of time in Solarium.
Nice to see that people listen to you, darling.
Yeah, you're going to take some lessons.
I knew.
We actually spent some great, spent a great sort of hour or two in the Solarium on the weekend as well, because we were we managed to catch up on the weekend. We're doing the back-to-back on Quantum. We did the Brisbane to Brisbane segment and then the Brisbane to Sydney segment. We got to catch up with Adrian, the cruise and travel guy. How cool is that? Finally, after doing all this and as we've said before, we've got a great cruise tuber community in Australia, and we all talk to each other and send messages and bounce things around, but you saw some of that discussion last week with Rob from Rob and Ali Cruise and Travel on here and Amy from Cruise Craze Fam. But to be able to sit down for a while with Adrian as well, that was just awesome.
Yeah.
Really, a really cool guy. Has some really, really great insights into the industry and really kind of, in my opinion, in our opinion, really sort of has led the reporting and news delivery of Australian cruise over the last 5 or 6 years, and really great, really to spend time with him. So, yeah.
All right, Peter. Hey, looking forward to actually finally spending time with you guys on Monday.
Yes,
So
Pete from the Cruise Craze Fam.
Yeah, you and Amy, I'm actually really looking forward to finally meeting and sitting down in front of each other rather than over messaging all the time. So
yeah,
can't wait to see you guys on Monday.
Yes.
All right. Oh, no. Yes, that's exactly right. All right. Let's have a look.
Who else have we got? Who else has joined us?
Mm,
Tina says even found 4 days was not enough for Quantum to look around. True.
it's never long enough.
No, a cruise is never long enough. Doesn't matter how long it is, it's never long enough. Patrick, does it stop at Nuke? Asks. Well, sorry. Where's the Crown going?
So, I'm assuming he means next week.
Could be.
Yes. So the Crown Princess next week is doing a Brisbane to Sydney,
and then a Sydney
to Brisbane.
Yep.
He's on that one next week. All right. So let's have a look.
Yeah. Again, Melbourne's got really, pretty reasonable connectivity to the port with public transport. Sean's got hoping to get everything organized to turn it into. Yep. So that's awesome. Good news for the charity or the coming charity.
Yes, Noni, I probably should have looked at that comment earlier. Sorry, catching up, but she knew.
Oh, she knew. Yeah,
she was all over it.
Desley says only done. We've only done Carnival before that one there. So we're blown away with the food, entertainment, friendliness of all the staff on board. Looking forward to the Voyager in December. We'll see you on board, potentially Voyager in December.
Yeah, let us know which date you're actually going, Desley, because we might be on the same one again. That would be good. All right. So there's lots of comments here. I'm just trying to. Okay, go. I started watching.
Sorry, Noni's just pointed something out. I'm just gonna jump a screen back here. Whoops. Have a look at the 9th of November.
Hang on, I'm just trying to. Well, I can't get into the chat now.
You can't get into the chat. That's right.
Where are we?
That's interesting. So you got one odd one
Noni.
in the middle there. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. So it looks maybe they've added a 3-nighter into there. Let's see if we've got any more. There's nothing in December.
Maybe they're just in the middle of
starting to do the
updating
updates.
It.
Let's go to the very end. Let's go to April. Nothing else there.
But maybe it's just starting.
Yep. So they're starting to obviously get it all in the system. So that's good to see. Started watching Katie Cates started watching with Rob and Ali and Cruise Craze Fam when I booked this cruise. Even if I never cruise again, I'll still keep watching. Really enjoy the chilled vibes. Thank you very much, Katie.
And you know what? This is I don't know if you caught the live last week at all, where we had Rob and Ali and Cruise Craze Fam joining us. The Australian cruise tube market is becoming such a collaborative group.
Yes.
And it's beautiful and so exciting that we're here to lift each other up, join each other, which I think we said last week. So we're really excited to keep this going.
And the last month has been really cool because we saw a group of us. We weren't there, but there was a group of us down in Sydney for Pacific Adventure with the Carnival Adventure. So the launch of the 2 new ship Adventure and Encounter under the Carnival brand. So there were a group of people there. For that, there was we were on this cruise, and Adrian was on it this last weekend. We're on next week with
Cruise Fam, and then the following
weekend
we're on Rob and Ellie.
with Rob and Ellie again. We've been on a few with Rob and Ellie. Rob and Al at the moment are on a cruise that also has the Cruising Travelers and the Bag Drop 2000.
Yes.
So
there's a bunch of us that are all starting to cruise together as well, and no, it's really cool.
Yeah, so you're going to see a lot more collaboration, I think, which is really good for us all, and great for you because you get to see us all interacting and get our different opinions and whatever else.
Sean from Down Under Cruises is on here at the moment, so we look forward to joining yours at the other side of this one too.
Yep. Michael says, from the first few cruises with P&R and the drinks package, Royal was so much better for the drinks flavors. Yeah, look, there is definitely more variety with the drinks package on Royal. That's, again, different level of cruising, different like different price points, those sorts of things. So you're naturally going to get that to some extent.
Yeah, that's right.
Tina says, do we know why cruise companies only doing Brisbane and Sydney? One of the big reasons why they've pulled out of Melbourne in particular has been the costs down there.
The port fees.
Port fees have been a really big thing down there. They've been increased dramatically, and the cruise lines just went, enough's enough. We're not going here anymore. Similar issues in New Zealand. Also, Australia's known for strict biosecurity rules, but New Zealand's even stricter again. And so the compliance with that's just become a big issue. Excuse me. But it probably is a good segue into this screen here. So I'll bring this up. Oops, add it to the stage. So our friends over at Cruise Passenger have run this story today around why the price of cruising has just gone up. And they make some political references here to Donald Trump. We're not going to get into that here. That's not what we're about. Let's not start that conversation. But what we're looking at is they make a really good point at the moment that it is getting more expensive in their view at the moment, the cruise lines to be here in Australia. And it's not necessarily the initial cost of getting the ship here. What it becomes about is because lines like Royal Caribbean charge in US dollars, we're and that weakening Australian dollar against the US dollar means we're less likely to spend money on board. And so this article, I'll put the link to the story now in the live chat. So if you want to go and have a read of that later, you can. The fact is, at the end of the day, cruising is getting more expensive. They do a really good comparison here, talking about how much it can affect the falling exchange rate can impact on cruising. And when they compare some prices, say from earlier this year, back in February to now, you're looking at cruising going from being about a particular cruise that they've done the comparison on $3,223 a couple of months ago. It's now $3,453 based purely on exchange rate. So, and then they go through and they do a really good thing about how that impacts the onboard spend, which general estimates, as they say here, are 30 to 40% of cruise line revenue comes from the onboard spend, not the actual they don't just look at how much you pay to book your cruise. And if that's diving, the exchange rate's diving, that's going to impact their want to be here if we're not going to spend as much money on board.
All right.
Cool.
Got that out of the way.
Because it is important to know, because if you want to if you're going to be planning for a cruise, at least in the next little while, you really need to think about either buying onboard currency in advance, because you tend to get a bit of a better exchange rate, because they do hedge their currency conversions, and also probably be waiting for things like Black Friday specials for drinks packages and things like that. But keep an eye on cruise pricing. And at this stage, our advice would be, when cruise schedules are released, try and book as far in advance as you can before that exchange rate really starts to bite into pricing in the near future.
All right.
Where are we? Greg and Sue are here tonight as well, and they're saying hello. You've got a fan there.
Hi. Thanks, Sue.
Now,
and Greg.
we do have somebody we need to do a shout out to.
Yes.
From the cruise. So we were approached on Sunday by someone who, unfortunately, she was having to cruise without her husband due to a health
injury.
An injury.
Yes.
So Deb, you want to tell the story?
Yeah. So I just wanted to shout out, in case the lovely Peter might be watching. So we met Sharon on the cruise, and she came up and grabbed us, and she said that her husband is a big fan who watches all of our videos, and especially because they were meant to be doing the Trans-Pacific cruise that left yesterday. Unfortunately, he had an injury, so he couldn't go, but she's gone on with her mother. But we actually got to do a video call with Peter very briefly, because it was very patchy. But I just wanted to shout out, in case Peter's watching, big shout out to you. I am so sorry you didn't get to do that cruise. It actually broke our heart listening to that story, and knowing that Sharon was doing it without you. But yeah, just a little bit
she
of
had her mum.
Yeah, she did.
But was taking a mum. But no, it's not the same as cruising without your partner.
But anyway, just shout out.
Cruising with your partner. So the Crown doesn't have GDs or Alfredos, so you can't try the pizza. Yeah, true, but it's still going to be a new experience for us, because we haven't been on Crown before. So still excited to be getting on. Rowan has a comment here about the 3 to 4 day samplers. As great as they are, it's just not long enough to see and do everything. 7 day minimum is...
Yeah, look, I agree, but I think it is also, when we speak to so many people that have never cruised before, and they just want to test the waters as to whether or not, one, is it something that they could actually do to, do they get seasick, is one of the biggest things that we get asked by people. And I think I've said it many times, but I get seasick. I look at the water and I get seasick. So to me, the one thing that works for me is Travel Calm. I take it every single night that we're on board, and I don't have an issue at all. But I think that's why people generally do the samplers.
Yeah, look, they do, but also, so the back-to-back that we just did was a 2 nights and 2 nights, and it was actually great, because the first 2 nights were a Friday night, Saturday night, so you got home on Sunday. So people were able to get on the ship in the sort of mid to late afternoon. So they could have done a morning of work, got on the ship, and then they were there for the Bucks nights, the Hens nights, the honeymoons, the getting marrieds.
Oh, there was a lot of people that wrote themselves off.
There were some messy people, but yeah, they were probably I actually, my view softened on the 2-day sampler cruise compared to the first one we did that kicked off this 10 and 10 that's not 10
February.
Back in February. And I think the timing of this one, though, was part of that reason why my opinion was a little bit different. I think getting on the Friday, doing the Saturday, and we probably just took a bit more of a chilled approach, had more of a romantic weekend kind of thing, as opposed to or just a you and me time.
But it was also a premiere for the Wiggly sailings.
Yes.
As well, on that first 2-nighter. So on board was Dorothy and Wags.
Yes.
So they did a sampler. So they did meet and greets. Dorothy was the DJ doing her wiki thing. I'm going to use your words, wiki.
The wiki
Oh.
wah.
Okay, that one. And they did a silent disco with them. So there was lots of little promotional type things with the Wheel Friends.
Yeah, and look, this is probably something really good to raise. And Noni, who's in the chat tonight, Rowan and Noni, Noni reached out and asked the question or asked for some clarification on this, because we've seen the promotion now since the last year about these wiggly adventures, these wiggly cruises that Royal Caribbean are going to be putting on in the 25-26 season, and this partnership that Royal and the Wiggles are going to have, and what does that mean? What's involved? So I had actually been under the impression that the Wiggles were going to be doing some performances.
Yeah.
Now
it's not the case.
No. So I'm gonna read this, because this is the exact description from the how they're now selling it on board. So we're taking your family on an adventure to the next level. Royal Caribbean has proudly teamed up with much loved family brand, the Wiggles, as their exclusive cruise holiday partner. Set sail on one of 6 exclusive Wiggly sailings from Sydney or Brisbane in the summer of 25-26, where you can join the Wiggles friends, Captain Feathersword, Dorothy the dinosaur, Henry the octopus, Wags the dog, and Shirley Shawn the unicorn.
Can I just sorry, I just need to quickly interrupt on this one. When did they introduce a unicorn into the Wiggles?
Yeah, look, we consider ourselves peak Wiggles parents, through that late 90s, early 2000s.
But and there's a unicorn now.
There's a unicorn now as well. Anyway,
sorry.
So the Wiggly adventure inclusions are the Wiggly Friends show, Dorothy's dance party, which was very cool, by the way.
It was cool.
The story time with Wags the dog, character meet and greets, and much more. So
it's not the actual Wiggles, it's just the Wiggles friends.
Yeah, so and they'll be selling Wiggles friends merchandise. They'll have that on board. Wiggles friends room decorations, Wiggly friends photo packages, Wiggly friends character breakfasts. So there you go. That's coming up in the next season. They were fun. There were adults that were aware that they were doing this, because there had been some little promotion.
Yeah.
And
they were dressed in wigs, and then they had their purple and yellow and red
and blue
shirts. It was so cool.
So there's an 8, 7, and 9 night cruise on Anthem of the Seas, and a 7, 7, and 9 night cruise on Voyager of the Seas next season. So yeah, but I guess 3 to 4 day samplers. I think 3 to 4, like the 4-night cruises are good. 2 wouldn't do it all the time, but if it's there and it's a way to have a quick cruise without without having to take time off work, because you can do it on a Friday, Saturday, or a Saturday, Sunday, I think they're a good option, particularly for us. Like when we have the cruise terminal here in Brisbane, it's just as easy to do that as it is to, and generally better value than going up to the Gold Coast or Sunshine Coast for the weekend.
All right. I think there's a bunch of comments on here. Let's just try and get through some of these, hey?
Met some lovely folks. So this on the
CNK cousin.
Yeah, so Chris and Kathy. Chris and Kathy from New Zealand.
Yes. There are talks about
a group
cruise.
There are.
And Chris and Kathy, it was so good to meet you guys.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, we had a blast. Like, we met you multiple times on this last back-to-back cruising, and you guys are legends. So
yeah, really hope we can meet up with you on the seas again one day.
100%.
Down on the cruises says collabs are amazing. They certainly are.
Yes, we need to get on board with you guys at some point too.
Yeah, we will. So those couple of links are there. Well, that didn't work out very well, but anyway, it's weird to put all stuff at the end of that. This weekend's cruise, short and sweet life. This weekend's cruise was a good one. Saw we both at the sail away.
Getting.
Is
there an extra bit of that comment? Maybe it's below.
Getting some footage.
I'm not sure.
Perhaps, or having a bit of a boogie. Not sure, but yeah, no.
Shame we potentially didn't meet you.
Yeah, but look, we do enjoy going and watching the sailaways and sometimes having a bit of a boogie along. The sailaways this weekend were actually great, and the second one in particular, because the weather was so good. But the way the conga line ended up happening,
everyone's
doing this, and people was going under, so that sort of formation just got longer and longer because as people went through, they added themselves.
Round.
And it was going right around the pool.
Yeah.
Really, really a lot of fun.
It was so good.
Super Sour didn't want to interrupt. Matt was busy getting some footage. Hope you guys had fun.
Never, ever be
afraid to come and say hello.
Okay, that's the words.
Never
ever.
We love meeting you guys.
Do.
We really do.
Oh my gosh, we met so many people on this last weekend.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So please never, ever worry about interrupting us, even if we're filming.
Yep.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, come and jump in front of the camera and come and say hello. What we got? Sura said how I'm going to get from Brisbane a week prior to the cruise. I'll be going by coach from Double to Lithgow, train to Lithgow Central, and then another coach to Brisbane. Joe, you've got a little bit of time to plan though, so you should be good. And hello from Dubbo. I've got a lot of my mum's family up that way. So Michael mentions I love Robinelli and Adrian, you guys, but we have to work as well, so we'll make it work. Yep. Karen says sorry for late. Loving your YouTubes. Just came back off Ovation to New Zealand. Loved it.
Oh, excellent,
awesome,
Karen.
Awesome. Yes, we're trying to see if we can, maybe get a New Zealand cruise in the next season.
I don't know. There's so many we're tossing up at the moment.
We've got a few. Actually, let us know in the comments. I'm curious because we are doing some planning at the moment. Curious to know what your thoughts were on the Singapore cruise. The reason I asked this is Singapore's not that far. It's
8 hours,
6 to 8 hour flight, depending on where you are in Australia. And there is a lot of cruise options out of Singapore, particularly now that Explorer is now relocated, sold, refurbished, and running under the Star Line. They've also got their Genting cruise line out of Singapore. You've got Disney about to launch a new ship and be located out of Singapore. So there is an increasing number of Asian cruise options coming up. We see cruise ships doing their dry docks from Australia. So whether it's Splendor like it did last year, Adventure and Encounter go up there for dry dock. Quantum was up for dry dock there in November, December. So yeah, let us know. Would you like to see us doing more more Asian cruises? And
you're going to let these people decide what we do?
I want to know their feedback because
I love it.
We want to know what you want to be watching as we are planning our 26-27 cruise season. Would you like to see us go to New Zealand and do a cruise in New Zealand? Or do you want us to focus more on these domestic cruise options that we're having? Really would love to see the comments.
All right.
Okay, let's get through a couple more comments.
Frog in your throat tonight.
I do. My apologies. They would get me doing had way too many booze cruises on there. So much busier than our cruise on Quantum. Yeah, look, Rowan, I'm gonna say we've done we do a lot of 2 and 3 night booze cruise. I was going to say booze cruises. What I would say is I think the market, and we've said this before, cruises are made. Cruises have their own personality. Depends on the ship, and I think it depends on the length of the cruise. And I also think it depends on the location that it's departing from. I found, compared to 3 night cruises we've done out of Brisbane, the 3-night cruise we did on Splendor of the Seas out of Sydney last year felt very boozy as well. So maybe that's a Sydney thing. Sorry to any Sydney siders. I don't mean offense, but it did feel a lot more boozy than some of the other 3-night cruises we've done. Maybe it's just that Queenslanders can hold their liquor better.
Oh, yeah, Noni. All right, good. It's not just me. All right, so I'm not an Emma Wiggle era.
No, we were OG Wiggles.
What?
We were OG Wiggles era as parents.
OG.
Yeah, original.
Original. I did know that. Original OG. All right. I'm just trying to remember. It was Kelly.
Hey, no, even before. Geez, I was even before that.
Who was before Kelly?
It was the 4 blokes.
Oh. Okay. Anyway. All right. I'm just trying to remember now.
Okay. Well,
when I joined. But anyway, I'll come back to that. All right, let's get these.
When they were the cockroaches. Oh, wow.
Hey,
Yes. See, now, yes. Not a lot of people remember the cockroaches, but
no,
yes.
I do remember that too.
Been eyeing Edge class, haven't pulled the trigger yet. That was obviously in we were on Celebrity Edge after Crown. That's right. Yeah, that's another ship that's on our list. Do we want to see that? I know there's a lot of great content coming about that as well soon. So be sure to check out both Cruise Craze Friends video in a few weeks' time, or in the not too distant future. Obviously, Rob and Ali are going to have their New Zealand Celebrity Edge adventure to drop a lot of information on as well. Bag Drop 2000 are on there.
The Cruising Travelers.
And Cruising Travelers are doing all their Instagram stuff from it. So make sure you check out that because, that's another option.
All right. Down under. All right. Sorry, we probably missed you guys saying you were heading off. But
we'll check out your live stream shortly.
We will.
John wants to see more Asian cruises. I'd like to see you travel further afield because I can't and can live vicariously through you.
Oh,
good to know. Desley would like to see some New Zealand cruising. Wendy will be going to New Zealand in February for the first time.
Okay, you're probably going to get there before us.
You may.
We're pretty booked up for this year, so.
Karen says Troy and her met during the Encounter 3-day comedy cruise over the Christmas period, and we didn't feel it was booze cruise. Yeah, look, I agree. Like, it didn't feel boozy. Yes, I do remember meeting you guys. Yeah, it was nice to
meet you guys too.
Here's one for a laugh. Come down to Geelong and catch the Spirit of Tassie over Davenport. Yes. Look, Rowan, I actually want to do that. So when I was about 6 years old, I used to live south of Geelong down at Ocean Grove, and we lived high on a hill in a multi-story house, and I used to watch the Spirit of Tasmania go out, the original, back in the day. So this is like going back to the 80s.
Yeah.
And Dad was in the Navy, and he used to tell stories about going through it. I got some wicked photos from that era of waves coming over cruise ships over Navy ships as going through the Bass Strait. But why not? We could do that.
There you go.
Would you like to see us do a Spirit of Tassie and then maybe pick up a hire car in Melbourne and do a bit of a road trip around Tassie?
I mean, we love Tassie.
Who would like to see something like that? Went on to NZ on Royal Princess. That was a good time.
Very good. Japan, yes, we are too.
We are too. They are part of our consideration. We're trying to toss up a couple of things with Asia and Japan. Noni, if you haven't seen it already, do go and check out Rob and Ali's videos
they
from
did
MSC Bellissima last year. And I think they might have something coming up later this year as well. So, but go back and have a look at their videos because over on their channel, they got the ones on Bellissima.
Okay.
Tassie or Kangaroo Island, yes. Kangaroo Island is a distinct possibility at the moment as well. Might we will let you know what's going on there. I will take a few more comments just quickly.
Okay.
Deb's face mentioning Bass Strait.
Okay, so I'm actually the one that loves the waves. So
I love the waves.
you didn't until you started getting them. So
Yeah.
I've been in cyclones where the ship goes down, the waves go over the top of the ship. I love it when it gets rocky. So doing Bass Strait, I'm excited.
We've mentioned before that we're also we're trying to plan 26 and 27 so that we can manage leave, because in 2028 Deb has a significant birthday.
40
forever, baby.
40 forever.
And it will also be our 10th wedding anniversary that year. And so we want to do something a bit different. Maybe, what do you think? Should I take her to the Drake to do a Drake's Passage crossing? You'd be up for that,
Yeah,
wouldn't you?
I think I'd be up for that.
Yeah, do Drake's Passage.
Yeah, but I also want to do Spain. I don't know. There's something about Greece,
Are you saying we can book Legend of the Seas?
Maybe.
Can we?
Maybe.
Legend? Go on an Icon class ship?
Maybe.
I have a prediction. I just mentioned an Icon class ship. I have a prediction, but I'm not going to tell you that this week. I'm going to make you wait until next week.
We're on a ship next week.
Okay, we're going to try and do a live stream next week from a ship. It may work, but it may not.
Yes.
So bear with us. We are going to schedule it. It's school holidays, so we've got a week where we're actually going to cruise during the week, and not on a weekend. We will try and do a live stream next Wednesday at our normal time. If it doesn't work, we're home on Thursday, and we will do the live stream on Thursday next week.
For one night.
We're home for one night, and then we do the Easter long weekend.
Can we not throw a live in there?
We might.
Oh,
we might.
All right, so I think we're going to start wrapping up. Let's just go through these.
Circumnavigation of Australia. Yeah, that would be cool to do.
Joe.
Joe.
Sorry.
Am I late?
Yes, Joe,
yes,
you
Joe.
are.
But you can watch the replay, so that's all good.
Nice to see you, Joe, anyway.
Videos of Spirit going through Tassie through Bass Strait is enough for me to not want to go on it. Yep. An Icon class would be epic. Yes, it certainly would.
At one point in time, we will get on one just to experience it.
If they...
Oh, dear. That is not a good face.
I've got some things to discuss next week. I've got some ideas and predictions. Have you guys got a cruise coming up on Princess Crown? Interested as we booked one January 26th. Karen, yes, we do. We will be
Monday.
On board on Monday.
Indeed. So we're doing a back-to-back on Monday.
Yep.
On Crown Princess.
And we will be on with the Cruise Crazed fam as well.
So we're really excited to do this one because we get asked so much about Princess and everyone commenting about, it's an older person's ship, but the amount of people we keep talking to say different.
And I'm really keen to try out the...
And I'm like only 40, so I'm just going to do this. No? Okay, no. Anyway, because I'm only 40.
Yes, darling.
Yeah.
40 forever.
We will let you know. I'm wanting to do it because I want to know.
Yes, we are really keen to do it. Yeah. And look, I think if you're a P&O cruiser previously, go and log into the Princess website. Make sure you signed up for the Captain's Circle frequent cruiser program that Princess have, and check to make sure all your previous P&O Australia cruises have come across, because they will have counted towards your to the loyalty status, and you might be pleasantly surprised to find out just how high up in the loyalty tiers you are in that program. That is something that we are recommending to all previous P&O cruises.
100%.
Even if you haven't cruised previously with Princess, check it out.
Yes.
All right, so let's wrap up. Joe says, just quickly, sorry. Yeah, I'll get there in a sec. Thought it started at 8. Yes, Joe, it was starting at 8 if you were down south. Us being in Brisbane, we started at 7, but with daylight savings, it was 8. Now we're back to 7. which is great because it doesn't clash with the Down Under Cruises and their 8 o'clock live stream, which is about to kick off. Katie Kate's ready for the dance off between Deb and Amy. Yes, me too. Ready to see it.
Amy is going to kick my butt. I ain't no
Possibly.
dancer. She is. But anyway, I'll give it a shot.
Joanne says Quantum Seas had a lot of old people just recently, just came off the New Zealand cruise. Yeah, and again, I think that depends. This is demographic shift depending on the length of the cruise and the destination of the cruise. So I tend to find New Zealand does attract more people, older people. You know, I think a cruise like that versus something like the South Pacific Islands, or which is more families, or shorter cruises like the 2-nighters, 3-nighters, which tend to be people that are getting on for a party per se.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Bernie got off Royal Princess, best cruise food, but too many older passengers. Similar comment. We'll be interested to see how that goes next week. Had an amazing time on the Ovation at Tassie. Just booked answer for December 1 to New Zealand. Lachlan, enjoy that. That is going to be great. We love getting on Ovation, and obviously, we were on Ovation at Tassie last month. Had a couple of little dramas while we were there, but it was a great cruise.
It was so good.
We loved it.
All right. I think that we need to sign ourselves off so we can head over to Dux's live feed as well.
So I'm just going to drop now into the chat the live stream link to the Dux cruise.
But no, thanks everyone for joining us tonight. Appreciate that. It's been another great week for us, and we're embarking on three cruises in the next week.
Taking advantage of the Easter break.
So we've got Princess, and then we are doing Carnival Encounter over Easter, and we're bringing Noah on board for that one.
Yes, we will have Noah on board, excited. So it will be interesting to get his perspective on how things are changed from a kid's perspective as well. So we will see you all next week. As we said, we will try and do the live stream from the ship. If it does not work, we will be back on Thursday. Keep an eye out on our socials for that information, and we will see you next week, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you on board.